Okay.
Hey, we started the 10-minute countdown right on the 30-minute. Well, we don't do a set 2-hour show anymore like we used to, so I guess it doesn't really. Oh, I gotta turn those up.
Good
All
work.
right,
I
blast the socials. We are live.
on it, boss. Yeah, I was gonna say
Pressing the
my
button.
place when I bought it. It's a 3-bedroom, and it had a big enough basement that I could put a basement apartment in. Was 210. Now it's getting closer to 800.
Dude, that was
Closer to
our
800.
parents' place where we grew up. Was legitimately going for like 250 right before I got out, and I wanted to buy it so bad
Yeah.
because it like that place would suck right now, especially with how fast the place is growing. But it would net me so much in renting out to college kids because it's literally 10 minutes walk from campus.
Yeah, well, I mean that's kind of what we did. I'm right in between 2 colleges, and I lucked out, and we built the basement apartment in ourselves.
Yeah, it's
And,
awesome. See, that's what my thing is. Like, my dad still does construction and is a general contractor right now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So, like, it would be nice to get the full loan and then just be like, hey, can you do this? And he knows, I know he's done it at least 3 times that I've been alive for.
Cool.
And so just literally be like, you know what you're doing, please keep it in budget. And he'd be like, I will get this completely done in 6 months. It's like, that's why I do have a lot of plans. I just have 0 money to achieve any of this.
I hear you.
We will see everybody on the other side.
Morality.
God damn it. And welcome back to the Entertainment Information Intelligence podcast from the Writer Brothers. It's basically like the old Tuesday show, except all we really do is talk about pop culture and what we're enjoying throughout the week. Corione, what have you been enjoying throughout the week? All right, well then expect reviews for Reacher Season 3 coming down the pipe soon. John's on that one too? All right, we'll get that one on also Sever. You know, maybe we should just take show reviews and put them back on this show. I don't know. I mean, I still like the new name. We're not changing the name, but well, you know, or maybe we could do like, you know, live condensed reviews. I don't know. We'll see. We're still trying. Right. All right, let's get down to the there we are.
Curiously to the Osbournes
All right,
TV show.
start the show over.
Oh, are you serious?
One of
All
these
right.
days, I'm going to do a show that's going to be competently ran. But it was not this day. Eddie Arndt with, what's up, everyone? Hope you all are well. It's been a while since I've been on. Also, I can only hear Petey talking. Eddie, I'm so glad you picked tonight of all nights to get back, because apparently my head is not quite totally in the game tonight. Don't know why. Well, actually I do, but that's a conversation for another time. So yeah, here we are once again. What were you guys saying? Something about Reacher Season 3?
Yeah, I was saying how much I've been enjoying Reacher Season 3 so far. I've thought it was a really, really good release. And they thankfully picked one of the better books to adapt for this season.
Dude, right? I can't remember if I've read this one, but I think I did, and I love it so much.
Yeah.
Like, even if I didn't, like, I'm loving this story so far. The way they're telling it is just perfect. Like, I'm loving this show. I love this series. It's exactly what I believed it would be.
Yeah.
Well then, I'm definitely gonna have to take those those responses into consideration. Well, no, I'm not. We're gonna be we will be picking up Reacher Season 3. Probably start doing reviews for it next week with little tidbit reviews live on this on this show here.
Well, I think we can even wait on that. Like, I think you should read the book. Like, that was one of our biggest videos that may or may not have just been bot views, but the comparison did really well. So we should do another one of those when the whole series binges out. And we can even do another one in Season 2, because that one we already finished. And it was one book.
Yeah.
True.
So let's turn our attention now to Paramount Plus and Ozzy Osbourne. They're releasing a new documentary called No Escape From Now. It's about Ozzy Osbourne's recent health issues, and it's going to release later this year. For those of us who spent a fair bit of time in the early aughts, I think we all remember the live action show, the real reality show, The Osbournes. So, we know that Ozzy isn't totally still there, but his health has taken a fair bit of a turn. And this talks about all the stuff he had to go through because of that. So
the guy who ate a live bat on stage isn't all there in his old age.
Yeah, I thought maybe he would have wised up by now and turned into just Gandalf, but
I thought he found Jesus and actually cultivated miracles.
Yeah, nope. Turns out he's just a deteriorating, aging, dying husk of a rock star.
Have you guys seen that docu-series? It was hilarious. Many times he would just go walking off like, I don't even know why we're all doing this. Why are you in my house? And they're like, dude, because you asked us to be here. And he's like, that's stupid. And then just walk away. I love that. Like,
now we figured out what John's future job's going to entail.
Well, I mean, look, on one hand, though, I do have to say this. You kind of have to feel for the dude, right? I mean, one of the worst ways to go is to lose your mind. And, seeing that.
I'm going off the rails. I'm on a crazy train.
Yeah.
I don't
Those were the rails, by the way.
Mind. Like, that's what I mean more than anything is like,
yeah.
I feel like he's one of the few people who's just like, yeah, this is what all of the drugs used to do for 1 or 12 hours. Now it's permanent.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like, I feel like he's one of the few people that can demonstrate and is willing to demonstrate to the world how, like, atrocious these mind-eating drugs, like, not drugs, but just mind-eating viruses and diseases are.
Yeah.
Like,
so, I mean, I thought it was interesting at the very least that we get to see what that looks like now. And, I mean, you kind of feel for the guy. And I think it's, it's very interesting at least to see what, sex, drugs, and rock and roll taken to excess winds up looking like later in life.
I've always felt for the guy.
Jay Ghost writes in, finally the flesh reflects the madness within. That's a good point. That's very So,
Yeah, like
Ozzy, we
I
wish
love
you a
this, dude. I love
speedy
his music.
rest of your day. Well,
If you
maybe not
noticed, I
speedy rest
quoted
of your
it.
days, but we wish
I
you.
love Ozzy Osbourne, and I know a lot of his history, but like that's more to me saying like it's I don't know if I heard this same thing happening to like a fellow Marine, it'd be like, yeah, that's what PTSD does to Marines all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
at least he's getting paid.
Right.
My
at least he can
attitude
cry
is
into
more
the bosom
toward-
of his millions of dollars. You know, like.
yeah, and his family, like they do love him, and he loves them. So like he actually
some
like he
days.
may or may not have found God. I have no idea, but he definitely did find family, and I do love that.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I'm more just cavalier about like he's old. Death comes for us all. But at the
So
same
they
time,
say.
like he's an awesome dude and a legendary character. I am glad it's taking its time.
All right, next up. The Masters of the Universe. The first photo of the Power Sword and He-Man has been revealed. The He-Man live action?
That looks like a lot like the cartoon. That's live action? Wow.
No.
Wow, the stuff they can do in live action
moment.
today, they make the live action look just like the cartoon. That is amazing.
I will reveal it in a moment. First, I wanted to say that it looks like the principal filming is more or less done, but they're doing a lot of work in post for this one. There's going to be a lot of CGI and whatnot done to it.
Yeah, I can see that.
But we have the first image. No, this is the image, sir. Now that doesn't look that bad. I'm going to say that. You know, I do like the way the sword looks.
That's a pretty good teaser, harkening back to the days of the Star Wars prequels.
Right? Like it feels like it's a good tease. I appreciate this. Right? It looks like they got the physicality of He-Man right here. Okay?
It's looking promising so far. And it looks like, yes, we still have He-Man.
Yes. You know, they didn't get some
overgrown.
You know, they decided, I guess, to not go with, you know, He-Manity or something like that. So we're good there.
Or He-Man.
Yeah, right? So there we go. I mean,
He-Man would work.
up.
Oh, He-Man would work. Like, that would be excellent drag cosplay here in Key West, like during Fantasy Fest. He-Man would be a smash hit. That would be hilarious. But as a movie that's taking place based off of the source material, yeah, let's just stick to the source material. Let's try not to be, you know, flamboyant.
Though personally, if I was going to inject manatees into anything, it would be the MCU. I want an Iron Manatee.
Iron Manatee. You know, it's funny, but I do happen to work for a guy who paints a lot of manatees, and he's the most collected marine environmental artist. He also has Disney licensing. So if you're serious, Corione, we could commission a piece called Iron Manatee.
I think we need all the Avengers done up as manatees. I think it'd be very amazing.
all the Avengers done as different sea creatures. He'd probably actually just go, oh, that's a good enough idea. I'll go for it.
Yeah, like a starfish as Captain America or something. Yeah, I dig it.
All right. Ghost says Gwildor, I don't want it.
All right, well, here we go.
Good
Next
to see you,
up.
Jay. I'm glad you're here. And you too, Eddie. Hope you're still here. Hope the lack of audio didn't throw you off, although that's usually enough for many people to bail on this show. And, well, you know what? I promise a competent show, and I underdeliver. I need to not do that anymore.
All right, well, so Comic Book Resource has put together a list of everything we know about. You remember the Netflix series with, you know, Daredevil series, the Jessica Jones series, the whole Defenders group.
Some of the best cape products ever to have ever been conceived and exist. So
Marvel has made the decision that those series are now officially part of the MCU canon. With Daredevil Born Again being officially part of the MCU, and Born Again being the backstory to or Born Again being the story, with the Netflix series being the backstory to that series, they are now officially part of the Marvel canon. Now, they are talking about bringing the Defenders back into the modern MCU with characters like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, the actors reprising their roles. The Punisher is already back in Born Again. So we are looking at a renaissance of that Netflix sequence of series coming back in. They're actually planning on updating Iron Fist to make him better than they did on the first run, making him a little less terrible. It's still going to be Danny Brand. It's still going to be a white dude with crazy kung fu skills, but they're going to make him look better. They're going to make him act better. He's not just going to look like a hobo with a magic fist.
Oh, but the hobo with the magic fist, that's literally New York City. Like, that's every other alley there's a hobo with the magic fist.
True.
Jay Ghost says can't make him act worse.
Right?
I don't know. George Lucas has entered the chat.
But listen, the idea is supposedly after the Daredevil Born Again series, they're talking about doing a Heroes for Hire series, which is going to have Luke Cage and Danny Brand running around A-teaming their way through the streets of New York.
Yeah, Luke Cage, that one was probably... I really dug
that
his
was the most
song.
Disappointing one because like that actor I don't know if you guys have seen Evil. I'm pretty sure he went on to do Evil. Like amazing.
I don't remember the other thing I had seen
He's
him
an amazing
in that
father, like priest. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Terrible Luke Cage. Like Luke Cage is Samuel L. Jackson on steroids. Like the guy who played Mr. T in the A-Team, he would make a perfect Rampage Jackson. He would make a perfect Luke Cage. But like the guy they cast was way too Bible man.
Well, we'll see what they do with it. I'm very curious. I want them to move forward with this because this was some of the best writing and best executed stories to really come out of the MCU, and is definitely the kind of TV show stuff I want to see from the MCU. Like, I have no problem with the Avengers being like dealing with movie level threats, but the street level threats should be TV series.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about these was they felt so like natural, and they brought a they brought the MCU back to Earth. And that's also what I thought that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did a good job of doing was it sort of bridged the suspension of disbelief in a way that makes it feel more organic, more authentic, because it's like, yeah, these are the B-list heroes. Well, yeah, they don't have like the superest of superpowers. Daredevil just is really good at seeing things without having to use his eyes. Jessica Jones has a couple of powers, but obviously not nearly enough to be in the Avengers. And of course, the Punisher is probably never going to be an Avenger.
I would actually argue that Jessica Jones did, but her own crippling psychological issues brought on by the nonsense she went through is what's going to keep her out of that.
Right. She can't pass the psyche valves. So it's like, it's just, I don't know.
And then not to mention...
a little cautious to quote Homelander, but, when they were recruiting the blind guy, and he goes, now I have a guy who's useless. He's deaf and blind and has no powers. And I was like, oh, man, that was quite the knock at Daredevil. Anyway. But no, it's...
Well, but no, that's the point. Is like, Homelander is selecting for the A-Team, and the blind guy is great for his
by
local
the A-Team, you mean asshole team, because that's what the 7 R's.
That's all dependent on the leader. Like, the team is representative of the guy in charge of it. And I think that's, again, like the difference between the Avengers. Like, the Avengers are the best of the best and nicest because of Chris Rogers. Like, the Punisher and Daredevil are leading this team, and they're both like downtown city boys. They have never seen a day where they didn't maybe see somebody get robbed or stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just and
So-
I
And then
remember
Daredevil
when
went wild.
Daredevil first aired. I mean, that would be another show we could go back and review too. It is the Netflix Daredevil, because
But the other thing that like this really does is it gives you B-list villains, C-list villains, D-list villains. So then when you have like
yeah,
the
but
Thanos
that's
show
I
up,
I
you
have to
actually
disagree with that, because like they tried to make him a B-list villain, but let's be honest, the dude playing Wilson Fisk like acted the hell out of. He's a
Vincent
fucking
D'Onofrio,
he's an A-list.
freaking yeah.
I do not mean acting. I mean
No,
ability to destroy.
even in his scope and presence, like especially coming into the new season where he's going to be mayor of the city, like he's basically like okay, like not president yet, but he's on his way to
Right.
the top.
But what I mean though is it's more about, it's not about ability to like gain power or authority. It's about ability to destroy with said power. Like you can be the mayor, but you can't necessarily nuke the city as mayor.
Well, yeah, but
And,
he
like,
also has a lot of
that's
power
what-
and influence. Like he's even so influential, he has the prison system, you know, turned into his own like freaking
All I'm
house
saying is
arrest.
like that's what you leave to the street guys, because you need somebody constantly on the ground fighting a rebel fight against bureaucracy. You
Right,
can't
but
have
even-
Captain America walk in and kick his teeth in, otherwise it looks like tyranny.
Right, but I mean, even if you put like a bunch of like C-list heroes against a B-list villain, that's interesting, right? When the villain is way stronger than any of them individually, and they have to work together to get past them.
Right. Yeah. No.
So
So
I think
you
it's
know,
interesting to do
it
it.
seems like the ship at Marvel might actually be turning around too. Well, we'll see.
let's hope, man. I have high hopes for Born Again. I want to see how it plays out.
Jay Ghost says, "Are we talking about One Punch Man again?"
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. A little bit.
All right. So
References.
Lanterns, which is going to be a DC Studios series, wraps up the first week of filming. So DC Studios is the TV line, and they are doing a Green Lantern TV series called Lanterns. Now, my understanding of how this is going to work is it's going to feel a lot like Cops, in that we're not necessarily going to be following the same Green Lanterns in every episode. Or if some of the top Green Lanterns come in, they're going to be coming in after like the ground level, the lower level Green Lanterns have run into trouble. So like you won't see Kilowog in every episode, but if something stupid happens, Kilowog shows up.
All right.
So an interesting idea for it. The Green Lantern lore over the last 15 years has gotten a serious upgrade in terms of how much they've expanded it. That there's now multiple Lantern Corps, that there's multiple factions of rings out there, and the Green Lantern Corps still represents space cops, but now they have like organized space, angry people, organized space, lovey people. It's kind of an interesting idea, and the fact that they're going to be throwing it around sounds like it could be interesting. Given the fact that the new Superman movie is using Guy Gardner, that means potentially they could pull in, some of the many other Green Lantern members that they've had from Earth into the Corps. So there's a lot of characters, there's a lot of rich plot they could do with this character. I think it might be worth checking out, especially given that it's from the same group that's making Peacemaker.
Well, I mean, another sort of disappointment for the Gunniverse is looks like once again we are for sure not getting a Green Lantern animated series season 2.
Sadly true.
Man, because that first season was a hanger of a show. Like, it starts out as a kind of semi-corny kids show, but then it, like, you're following the plot and you're following everything. You're like, dude, this is some serious, like, highbrow, high thought out content. And we're letting kids watch it. Like, that's the kind of television that I would want kids of mine to watch. We
do get a semi-resolution for the end of Green Lantern season 1 in Young Justice. I think it's season 4.
Oh.
Like, they do try to wrap up some of the principal storylines.
Okay.
So, with that in mind, right? But let's see where they go with this. This could be good.
Definitely.
All right. For us Reacher fans, we
currently
have been...
just you two for the moment, because I'm behind.
Fair enough. You remember in the last season, though, Neely, the detective like the private investigator that Reacher has been working with? She's getting her own spin-off series.
Cool.
So,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It sounds like this is where you go exactly with another character. Like, Neely's character is established enough for anybody to take her and go, look, we have a girl boss with legacy. Like, she's not a Mary Sue at all. And we've already got 2 seasons so far where she has been hurt.
Yep.
So, like, whatever they do, if she never gets another punch landed on her, dumb, but also not the worst. Like, you can get away with it now. And I don't remember any books about her, so, like...
Yeah, she doesn't have her own standalone book series.
But she does have her own standalone story that they've respected so far.
Exactly.
And then some. And I love that. So, like, taking her in her off hours, which she has so many, like, potential stories. She's literally Reacher, but with a paycheck and a job.
Yeah. So it looks like something that could go well. And it also leaves the possibility that if they want to bring Reacher in for something serious or something spectacular, they'd have that option.
And that's also how you convinced me that you're allowed to take him off the books.
Yeah.
If you crush it with this series and go, look, we know exactly who these characters are. Now we just want to change up their scenarios to things you can't predict. Yeah. And I'm like, thank you. Go.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm
multiply.
Yeah, I'm willing to give it a try at any rate, right?
Yeah, I think I am too. Because as John said, our biggest review was comparing the book and season 1, and that's, I don't know if season 2 didn't quite carry us anywhere, but hey, we'll probably have to review.
Well, we didn't do this singular video like we did with season 1. Because season 1 came out as one video or as one release, and then we did the book at the same time. We just talked about it all together. Whereas season 2, we did the episodes broken out, and so we didn't do one condensed video. But now we can. And we can get Severance done, and we can enjoy the show.
Get back to Silo. Go back and finish Silo. And then get back to DS9. Anyway. Shit, maybe we should review shows on this thing again. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, let's move it on. The Russo brothers tease very radical new Avengers films are going to change to challenge the audience. That always scares the heck out of me when a director says that. So the two films they're talking about,
yeah, like what are we doing? Like Avengers teach quantum theory 101. We're gonna turn the theater experience into the classroom or something. Like what are we challenging? Like is there gonna be a quiz at the end of the?
Am
Well,
I going
that's
to
what I'm
decide
worried
which
about. I'm worried
character
that
I
this is
hate
going to
more?
be
Hot
like,
quiz,
I'm worried
pop
this
shot.
is their, yeah. I'm worried this is their way of politely saying they're going to subvert expectations. That's my concern. But they're talking
like that's the
specifically
new
about,
right. That's the new phrase, right? This is the new. Oh,
Yeah.
hey, it's this is our way of letting you know it's gonna be crap. Yeah, yeah. Subvert expectations, bad. Well, we're going to challenge audiences.
right?
Here it go.
Okay.
All right, here we go for the next
Here's the
6 to 8
challenge.
years.
Yeah.
I
The two
I
they're
have an
talking
actual
about,
challenge.
guys, the two movies they're talking about are Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, which they're filming back to back in the UK.
Yay!
So-
Robert Downey Jr. is coming back to save the day, but as the villain.
Maybe.
Supposedly.
Well,
Watch him turn to like a
So-
bait and switch, and it's Iron Man the whole time. He survived.
no,
Anyway.
here's the challenge I will accept. They introduce heroes and disguises and villains in disguises, and they actually don't tell us who's who for the first movie.
Well, I mean, we'll see
Like,
what
we
happens.
actually have to try. Like, if that's the challenge, I'm here for it. Anything else just seems rude and disrespectful.
They're gonna try and shuffle the movie around like it's the Prestige. They're gonna try and outdo Christopher. They're gonna do Avengers by Christopher Nolan, which sadly will never happen. But God, what a movie that would
Okay,
be.
so
It's
I can say
Jago
in the
says it's okay when the Russos say it. Well,
okay. I mean, I don't know, man. It sounds code for this is not going to be what we want it to be. Now,
although then
in
again,
the
what do I even
comic-
want it to be? Because honestly, Avengers peaked with Infinity War.
well, this is it. Like in the comics, Avengers Doomsday, the Doomsday story arc was really about Doctor Doom, kind of coming in and taking over. And the latest version of Secret Wars is more or less a cosmic being grabbing heroes seemingly at random, and then grabbing villains seemingly at random to see which is more powerful, good or evil. And these heroes and villains having to work together to eventually end the conflict.
Jago says proven track record thus far. Yeah, I mean that's true. When it comes to flops, you don't really hear the Russo brothers. They do tend to produce good movies that people like, and I'll admit they did a pretty good job with Endgame when it came out, and the way they set it up with Infinity War. I was there for it, but now I watch it and I'm like, all right, here's all my all these cool heroes that we assembled together to throw at a disposable army from another timeline. Well, anyway.
I mean, look, here's what I will say. I'm willing to give them, like at least one movie. Like I'm willing to give them Doomsday to hook me.
Let's set a new
it.
phrase that actually lives up to what we mean. That we're challenging audiences to better enlighten them to actually, like, we're gonna talk about this in a bit. But when we get to the Andor season 2 trailer, which we'll probably watch because why not? We are gonna have to, I'm excited for it because I see it as a step in the right direction. It's trying to bring back some of the Star Wars, but it's gonna also try and keep the same, political intrigue that the first season was so just incredible for. But I mean, like, right.
Yeah, I just got it ready.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably save that for last. I think that'll be good last to use. We'll get to Kathleen Kennedy and then Kirk and then we'll do Kathleen Kennedy, Roberto Orsi, then Kirk, and then we'll do the trailer.
All right.
But yeah.
Well, next piece here. Now, I thought this was interesting. Okay, and I thought this was a debate we should probably have as well. So AMC's Adam Aaron, he's one of the top guys at AMC. he's saying that the 17 and 30-day theatrical windows are too short. Basically saying that, after 17 days, releasing it to a streaming service, or after 30 days releasing it to a streaming service, is just far too short a time period. Moana 2 got something like 107 days before it's going to streaming. And I mean, I would personally agree that the 17-day
window
is too short.
I would say that it for theaters, I mean, if you
Because,
guys want,
that's the paying for it, the theatrical in your bedroom, but you pay the $17 to watch it.
Yeah.
That's not it's on AMC Plus or it's on Disney Plus. Like the 120, like Moana doesn't have that theatrical version until it's on Disney Plus. So Disney Plus users get to watch it for free, but if you don't have Disney Plus, you have to pay $17 to rent it.
Yeah.
Like what he is talking about is it's in the theaters.
Yeah, for 17 to 30
Prime.
days. Yeah.
Well, no, the ones that where you're on Prime and you can actually it says it's in theaters, or when you're on Apple and it says it's in theaters, but it's also on Apple and it's also on Prime.
Right.
You can rent it there.
Look,
he's complaining about one of the few places where it's still making money, like tangible dollars.
Well, here's the thing.
So I think he is wasting his time.
Here's the other problem with the 17 to 30 day. If you like the dollar theater, or I guess it's the $3 theater now. If you like the cheaper theater for your movie viewing experience, that's the other problem that this 17 to 30 day run is also is to impact, assuming it hasn't already. Like, look, if there was what would probably work and what may end up having to be the way forward is if you buy a ticket for the movie, you get like a 24-hour pass to stream it at home.
Yeah.
Before it releases.
No. Well, no, so what this guy's really hoping for, this is AMC, so like movie theaters. He wants more time before anybody can watch it at home.
Yeah.
And so, he doesn't want anybody to be able to get access to the money.
Right, and that's why I'm saying he's got to compromise, and that's where the compromise is if you buy your ticket and they're like, here's your watch at home after, because then what you're doing is you're giving the audience the chance to watch it at home in the comfort of their bedroom after they viewed it at the theater, but then you're limiting that to one viewing. And if they want to see it again, they have to go back to the theater or wait until it releases again if it wasn't that great. But this is, an extra way to be like, you can watch it from the comfort of your home while it's already out. You just have to go see it once in the theater first.
That's one potential way. The other way is really just theaters used to be the only way to watch the latest and greatest as fast as possible. But there's a lot of latest and greatest and very little time to watch it as fast as possible.
Saturated with too much shit.
All the time, and everything is too expensive. And theaters are the perfect example of market inflation. Because they have a monopoly on their food pricing and their food inside the theater, they can charge outrageous rates. Because they did that for so long, everybody, except for the people that make money, is okay with the 17 to 30 day theatrical window. And that's his bad. He sold a bad product for too much and failed to realize that competition doesn't always come directly.
Yep.
Yeah. Jago says the studios will make their money no matter what. They're finding just how unnecessary the theater really is to their model. Theaters are going to have to change their system to keep the doors open. Perhaps in re-releases, events, yes. I mean, come on. Dude.
Bro, you could do Netflix at the theater.
I just found out.
Like, hey,
I found out that.
Friends.
I found out Revenge of the Sith is coming back in April.
Yeah.
Like for the 20th anniversary.
You set up a beer garden in one of the theaters, right? You level it out so it's not so much of an auditorium. You put on Friends, and then you encourage people above the age of 21 to just come in and watch an episode, walk out.
Or even better, I have the absolute money-making theater system for you guys. And it will appeal to your very American eagle-loving hearts. You ready for it? I'm calling it Democracy Theater. You put out a list of movies for like next month. Put like 100 movies on it, and everyone who goes to the site can vote what movies are going to show up. Whether they be new movies or classic movies or whatever, these are going to be like the 5 theaters are showing, the top 5 votes. And you put those on.
Or you could have one theater in your multiplex that does that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And those are
Like,
good
there
points.
are so many options, and we just thought of 3 of them.
And it's not beyond them.
None of them involved cutting other people's access.
And it's not beyond them either. The other thing is we've seen them change their part of the reason that how do they get people to come back to the theater? Well, they've started putting comfy chairs in. They started giving people space to actually enjoy the theater instead of, let's pack in like sardines. We pack in like sardines at the theater. We pack in like sardines on the bus. We pack in like sardines on the airplane. When do we ever get to actually have our space to enjoy our stupid movies? And well, now that's what happened. People started going to the theater. And as a result,
it's so much that like when you actually treat people like valued members of your community, similar to how you want them to treat you, they actually love you and want to leave their house to go to your thing. But when you treat them like demographics and dollars and cents, they reply,
that's it.
I work for a living. I don't want to. Yeah, the last thing I want to do, is come home after a long day and saddle up the kids and go to the theater.
I know for a lot of modern day CEOs, that's an extremely foreign concept. But you guys have been watering down your products for so long that like this is the result. It's not us, it's you. And it always has.
Even just like I abuse my brain and or body for 8 hours to try to make some money. I want to feel like that money is valued. And I think theaters are starting to get that message. I just want them to continue it to the next level.
Yeah.
Well, dude, they have to, because and this is something that is legitimate advice to anybody who wants to start their own business or do their own thing, especially if you're trying to start something that people have to go to. You have to be more fun than anybody's house. They have to want to leave their favorite space in the entire world, their home of safety, shelter, and bliss, to go to your thing. It cannot be 4 walls and gray paint. It has to be more fun. It has to be more interesting. It has to be more exciting, more novel. And most of you have forgotten that. And that's your bad. You're the ones with the money that can do something about it, and you haven't. So you can't blame us. You can't blame other people making money. You have to blame yourself for selling a depreciated product.
That's it. All right, let's move it on. Sad to say, this just came out today. Robert Orci, he wrote or co-wrote Star Trek 2009, the Michael Bay Transformers movie, Hawaii Five-0. He's a writer, he's a producer, and unfortunately he passed. He also worked on projects like Mission Impossible 3, Cowboys and Aliens, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The dude's a legend, and it sucks to see him go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean he's definitely a household name for a lot of blockbusters, and 51. That's just too damn
Yeah,
young.
kidney disease. Yeah.
Yeah, kidney.
So.
I thought it was a liver thing, but
Kidney disease, apparently.
Yeah, no, that is unfortunate, but me personally, if you've watched this channel at least once in your life, you might know that I am a fan of Star Trek 2009. 2009, that was the year that I graduated high school. Oh geez, that's 4 years from 20 years from now. Anyway, or from 20 years. Yeah, we're 4 years away from 20 years ago.
If you look carefully, you can actually see Peter York age in real time.
Yeah, exactly. It's so when 2009 Star Trek came out, I was really excited because my generation was finally going to be introduced to something that was very important to me. But well, as we know, that didn't quite happen. While it was the highest grossing Star Trek film ever made, yes, adjusted for inflation, it just didn't quite do well. Of course, we had Into Darkness.
Okay, Grandpa, go drink your tea. Go drink your tea.
Anyway. Then we had Star Trek Beyond, and that didn't quite Jay says the glasses hide the crows, literally jumping to his eyes. Stop talking about him. God, we get it. I'm old. Hilarious. Moving on.
All right. But yeah, we're sad to see you go.
Sorry, that was disrespectful. Let's. Yeah. All right. Any last words?
Let's
John,
carry on,
you haven't said anything on the passing of Roberto Orci. No. All right. Doesn't care. Well.
All right.
All right. I think
well,
said all that
good luck, Robert.
So.
I hope wherever you wind up.
Say hi to Doohan. Say hi to Doohan and DeForest and Nichelle and everybody else.
Okay. You're seeing this right. The Hollywood Reporter, the Times, and the Tribune and Variety and Forbes have all picked up that Kathleen Kennedy is retiring.
Hey, I'll believe it when she's officially off the payroll.
According to our friend Cameron's inside man, she already is. And that everything here is words to make it appear as though Lucasfilm is being magnanimous in their victory at finally getting rid of the real-life Disney villain that is Kathleen Kennedy.
I remember we had some analysis on this channel, and it was some very, very good analysis about how the Dial of Destiny was such an abysmal failure that she should have been let go for that alone and somehow survived.
Right.
I really hope we're not doing Poe Dameron memes, in 2026. Somehow Kennedy's contract was renewed because it's just this channel's already been here before. And now I'm not saying that.
I'm not arguing.
I'm not saying that it's not. I mean, it is different this time. The trades are actually, picking up on it because, what did the trades do when Dial of Destiny was doing? They just said that it wasn't that great, but they didn't harp on the fact that it's, the worst box office release ever since. Let's see, what was the last movie before that? Was like what, 10,000 BC or something? No.
The worst movie before Dial of Disappointment. I can look that up for you. Give me a moment.
Drake and Blaze, one of the bestest Twitch streamers ever, knocks in with kicks in door. Captain Kirk is coming back. No, Blaze, I swear. Wait, no, hold on, wrong meme. We don't know. We're gonna talk about that near the end, so stay tuned, brother. But glad you're here, and feel free to comment on Kathleen Kennedy supposedly actually fired and all this. I want to believe, where's the X-Files?
So the worst grossing film before Dial of Disappointment was John Carter
John Carter, that was the one. Yeah.
in 2012.
Right. Yeah.
Coming up very shortly afterwards, The Lone Ranger, the 2013 one, and The Marvels.
Yeah. Drake and Blaze says, "Oh, she's leaving? What's that? The 5th time that's been said?"
Hey man, I'm just going with what we're seeing through.
It's
Look, the trades traditionally
just
get their news directly from the studios, what the studios officially want out. So at the very least, we can make the argument that somebody at Disney
Lucasfilm is
wants us
done.
talking about replacing
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
We can at least go with that, man.
I hope so. I'm holding my champagne celebration for when, you know what, I'm honestly probably at this point not even gonna bother with the champagne celebration. I think it's best that with everything that's happened and how much coverage we gave all this shit, you know what? Maybe we just move on and we'll just do the episode when they say that Favreau is now Lucasfilm president, and we'll do our breaking news special when that's made official. But that's when we celebrate when the new guy is in charge. That's when we open the champagne.
Well, I can say that there were some interesting points that the articles that I've been going through have brought up. The big one's talking about who will replace Kennedy at the studio. And it seems like there are really only 2 viable names right now, and that's Favreau and Filoni.
Favreau, I don't want.
I'm
sorry,
just giving
Dave
you what
just
I've got.
does not have the, like, I get that Lucas tried to make him the protege and that he was supposed to be the golden boy, but it's pretty obvious that Favreau is better suited for the position. Favreau has more experience on many different products, and I'm sorry, Favreau was the one who swooped in with The Mandalorian. So that, and I get it, if it was both of them working together, that's fine, but Filoni's already what, chief creative expert or whatever?
No, it has to be Filoni, because Filoni's the only person that respects titles. And so if he is the executive producer, there's nobody above him anymore. Like, he is in charge of stars, and he will say to everyone, and this is what Bob, like, it makes sense. Bob Iger liked Kathleen because she said, "I'll get it done, boss," and then didn't. Whereas, like, Dave is like, "I've always gotten it done. Just put me in charge, and you're making money for the rest of your life, and Star Wars will be the greatest thing that anyone's ever seen till I die." And
I do believe that is coming, yes.
But, like, it's more because of the way Filoni versus Favreau acted. Favreau is more like, "No, I'm going to get what needs to happen. But he also, like, sacrificed the entire season 3. Like, Filoni would have just stopped working on Mandalorian if they cut Carano from him.
Now, I am going
like,
to
I
put
need to rewrite the whole thing, and I'm sorry, but you killed my main actor, one of my main story points. I have to go rewrite this. So either bring her back, or this will be a couple more years.
Yeah. So what were you saying, Corey?
Now, John does bring up actually a good point, though, about Carano, because Cameron has often theorized that they could not, sort out the Gina situation until Kennedy is out. Or that if they wanted to settle the Gina situation, Kennedy would have to be out. It's possible we could be seeing settlements to some of the major lawsuits.
Yeah, that is true. If the Carano lawsuit settles, that I think is then I think we can confirm that she has the cockroach will have found the boot.
That's it.
Drake and Blaze says, I liked John Carter. I wanted them to do a second movie, and they canned it. I was hella mad. Well, I mean, you could always film the sequel in your backyard. Jay Ghost says, very English. Yes, let's just put this unpleasantness behind us. Best not to mention. Exactly. Well, I mean, it's kind of in the name there. But also, yeah.
See, I don't know. I was actually thinking about doing a long-form content analyzing Kathleen Kennedy's downfall, like in excruciating detail. I thought that might be like a fun way to like
she got
monetize
to where
her
she
failure.
was
Dude,
being competent. At some point, there was competence in her capabilities
I
and career,
really think
then it just went away.
You should call it the result of Bob Iger's chess match.
Actually,
and just
I know what it was.
showcases Disney's losses.
I know what it was. It was Kathleen's competence got murdered by her ego. She basically, because she basically, had a Darth Vader moment, and yeah.
I was going to go with Kathleen Kennedy's most successful moment on film was when she appeared as an extra in Temple of Doom.
Right, on film. But she also had a huge, list and
No. Like anytime she was involved in film, that was the most successful she ever was as a background extra.
That's not correct. I wish it was.
Okay.
But it's unfortunately no. I've read the resume. It's in her earlier years, she was there on set, and she was there.
Right, but every time that she was in her earlier years, people were there were adults in the room telling her no. When she became the adult in the room, that's when everything went to hell.
Right. Like I said, her ego decided to murder her competence, and instead of learning from the greats, she thought she could just do better than them by taking what that was there and changing it, and it didn't work out. And who would have thought? Who would have thought that if you didn't do what the fans wanted, who would have thought that if you just do what you want, what you think is going to be best, and not consider it's like, oh, well, I don't have to listen to you because I'm in charge. That's literally what George Lucas did in the prequels.
Yeah.
And that's why that the prequels are still okay. Do I enjoy the Star Wars prequels? Of course I do. But the OG trilogy, and even the OG trilogy, is kind of really condensed down to the first and second film. The third movie doesn't quite stick the landing. George Lucas's career kind of just amounts to coming up with a cool idea that other people executed competently, that when he got the reins of, he couldn't manage or do anything, so he selected someone even more incompetent than him to take over. So, just...
And the scary thing is, we say that loving George Lucas.
Yeah. Shane Ghost says, world's worst Kennedy game show, dibs on host. Yeah, the Kennedy household name's just been one of disappointment in the last couple years.
Wow. Yeah.
Think about the kids.
All right, shall we move on?
Yeah, otherwise this is going to turn into a Saturday show, and we don't want that. And now, the biggest news, of course, we're going to talk about the Andor trailer. Or wait, do we have one more story after this? Or is that the...
No, that's just me hunting for stories.
Cool. This, I heard about, saw about on the twatters, and, oh, right, that was the thing I was going to have. I forgot to put the Twitter banner up. Duh. Heard about this on the twatters, and I think we should probably get a blue sky going. I don't know, they need to freaking greenlight that TNG movie or 3 and freaking do, Star Trek Legacy. Speaking of, I almost wonder if that's what we've heard of as being mentioned here. It has come to our attention that William Shatner has been approached to possibly return to Star Trek, and he is open to discussing it. I believe he said after Vancouver, which they're doing a con.
Yeah, they're doing a Comic-Con
this week.
Yeah.
This coming weekend. Yeah. So, very exciting news at the possibility. What that looks like, what it's gonna be. I don't care. I don't care. Like, just resurrect him like with the Borg, like he wanted to in his book or something, or bring him back through the Nexus. I was there for Picard season 3. I was there
in Picard season 3. They actually have his body in stasis in that station, right? That I'm going to be calling Deus Ex Station from now on.
Right. Yeah. And we have this 400-year cloak, or we have this 100-year-old cloaking device. Anyway,
Yeah, and of course, like that's where the warehouse where the Ark of the Covenant was stored got moved to later on. Right?
Yes, it's in Daystrom. Everything's in the museum now, including the museum.
So it's Area Station 51.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually, it was if I hate to say it, but I mean the Fleet Museum was like kind of sort of the equivalent to like Pearl Harbor, and basically they they decided to go reactivate the USS Mississippi for one last so the plot of Battleship.
One last run.
But anyway, I was there for season 3 of Star Trek Picard when the entire cast and crew came back onto the bridge of the Enterprise for one last mission. I remember how cool that must have been in 1991 when you got to see the last Star Trek film with the TOS cast and crew right off into the sunset, and that we basically got to have that moment with the TNG crew again in a very just cool way. So however we want to bring the last surviving member of, or sorry, shit, my bad, I keep forgetting Decay and Codingers are still there, hopefully for a long time still. But yes, one of the last surviving members of TOS back into Star Trek, and hopefully we get the other two as well. Just fine, just call it Star Trek: A Fan Service Adventure. I will. Okay, you hear me, right? Paramount, CBS, whatever the hell you are. Put James T. Kirk back on the screen. I'm there for it. Oh, right, they did with Reunification, and it got so many views on YouTube that it's like one of the highest viewed unlisted videos on this platform. And so yeah, is there an audience demand or an interest to see Captain Kirk one final last for sure last time? Fuck yeah, there is.
Okay, I know you're excited, but will you permit me the opportunity to pour some cold water on this?
No.
Oh, okay then.
Oh, you could try, but it's just not going to happen. It's just going to steam right
All right.
off.
So here's exactly what he said when this came up. I have been asked to come back as Kirk so many times. If Kirk is going to come back, I mean it has to mean something. It has to be the show. But I was so impressed by this writer. So I said, let's talk after I'm done in Vancouver. So I'm awaiting a pitch to make it the show. It would come on Monday or Tuesday. Now, that doesn't say, hey, I'm coming back as Kirk.
No.
It says, I'm an actor. I get money by hyping a role and then you guys watching it. So I'm starting to hype a role I want to have, but don't actually have yet.
Well, and I completely agree with him on it. He's not going to do it unless it's good. It's good for the character. Like, okay,
right? But he hasn't actually even gotten a pitch here yet.
Okay,
right? He hasn't been pitched the idea yet.
Right?
Maybe that's not coming though. Right?
No. I think you're missing the key words there, where he says that I've been approached by a writer and he likes.
No, I've been approached by to come back as Kirk so many times. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say it in that sentence. If Kirk is going to come back, he's not saying he's coming back there. It has to mean something.
Right.
He's not saying it there.
It has to
be the show. But again, not saying it there. He never comes out and says, I have a pitch from Paramount to come back as Kirk.
Okay. I don't
next
know what
line.
saying,
next line.
That,
Read the next line. Read the next line.
Okay. But I was so impressed by this writer. Notice, not this particular project, just this guy's body of work.
No, wait.
So I said, let's
before we
talk
go,
after
before
I'm
we
done
go to
in
that.
Vancouver.
No, before we continue. But I was so impressed by this next writer. So if we take that first line, which was originally the only way Kirk is coming back is if it's Kirk the movie, Kirk the TV show. That's the only way I'm coming back. But this new writer impressed me. So this new writer wrote something that wants to bring him back, but it sounds like
In
for
the
a blip.
past, when Shatner was asked to come back as Kirk, getting the bird was probably the nicest reaction you could get. Getting told a solid no.
I'm not talking about that. Like,
he isn't
if
even
we're reading
indicating.
this
He isn't indicating yes. He also isn't indicating no.
No.
He's
what
indicating
he's
that he's
indicating-
willing to hear a pitch to come back as Kirk.
Wait.
This is bigger than any
No.
opportunity that's to have Kirk back that we've ever heard before
It's
since
two different
Generations.
things. It's two different things. One, it's a writer that convinced him to come back as Kirk.
Or at
And
least hear a
two-
pitch to come back as Kirk.
Right. But two, and this I think is the most important one, not as the titular character of this writer's story. Because the first phrase that is, I've been asked so many times, the only way I'm coming back is if I'm the titular character. But, and everything before the but is meaningless. It's what comes next that matters most. This writer has impressed me. So he's not heard the pitch for Kirk the movie. He's heard the pitch for Kirk the homage in somebody else's story that's about a whole other character. And he likes that story so much, he is willing to hear a pitch on actually coming back for that story. So not only is he saying, I might come back, but he's saying the story's so good, it is better than my prerequisite that Kirk be the main character of his last story.
Okay,
That's
I mean,
what he's teasing.
I personally don't think this is any sort of a guarantee.
No.
And
No,
I
not a
want to
guarantee.
set the expectations that
No, yeah,
this
'cause he's
may
saying
not be
a
a
Okay,
thing.
writer.
but it's not about setting expectations. It's about gathering fan hype. It's about getting audience
True.
response. I mean, if
And-
anybody in
and
the
not
chat
only that,
here
but
are Kirk fans, are you guys excited for this? Because
demonstrating.
I am.
And demonstrating audience response while also saying, like, guys, help us share this. If Kirk sees it, if Paramount sees it, they're like, okay, fine. Like, they need something, anything, everything.
Because that's the other,
Here
right,
we
and
are
John, you're
being
100%
equipped.
correct there, because that's the other component of this. They still need investors. They still need to get people hyped for this project and around it and get, all of the, the energy going to make it happen. And so that doesn't, so that's the other side of it, is this writer could come up with the perfect pitch, and that's, Shatner's going to get on board and sign royalties and everything's going to be great, and then no one shows up to give a single cent. That's why I'm bringing the hype. That's why I'm basically saying, yeah, okay, get my hopes up and dash. Okay. It's nothing I haven't been through. I went through 2024.
No. This has nothing to do with my hopes. As a real-time audience member,
It's just my desires.
yes, I am invested in this. I will spend money to watch this. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes. Like, if anybody clips this, watch this, and goes, man, I wonder how they'll feel. Yes, this is what I want. Thank you.
This is your test screening response right here. Do it. Do it.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm still sitting on the I don't know if this is going to be a thing, but I'm willing to play ball, guys. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see if there's a pitch, which I guess should have come out today, based on the tweet time. But who knows? Anything could be moved and delayed and all that stuff. So, all right. We are going to conclude tonight's show. Oh, wow, we breached an hour. With some of the most exciting news that could have come out so far this week or weekend. If you're on the internet, you probably heard that the Andor, or And Snore, or And Bore, or Not Real Star Wars trailer came out. And let's give it a look-see.
Okay, ready, guys?
MST3K positions.
I am ready. My body is prepared.
Oh, have you not watched this yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
Love
here
when
we
they
go.
wait to do it on show.
We're in a war. You want to fight?
Dude, a guitar riff in Star Wars? Oh my god. I love drone footage of people blowing up. Nice. Soundtrack.
All our hopes come to be.
Can I just say this music feels so wrong for a Star Wars series?
But
Disagree.
it feels so right.
It does, but I'll explain why after.
No, dude, it feels so right for this series. Like, all of this stuff feels wrong for Star Wars, but right for
Disagree on that too.
No, wrong for Star Wars
Let's
only
finish the
because,
trailer.
like, no, I'm trying to keep us copyright free. Fighting music and Disney and using the power of He-Man's voice. Like, honestly, everything's perfectly timed to the music. That's why I love it. But at the same time, like, the only reason I say it's wrong for Star Wars is because it's never been done. It should have been done. And this is the time to do it more than any other show.
When someone
so
says they
far.
haven't watched the trailer, it's usually best to let them watch it.
We can't. I'm trying to copy the
No,
copyright.
it's whitelisted. Scogli checked it. It's whitelisted.
Oh.
We're fine.
Okay, guys.
And even if we aren't, we're not monetized. Who cares?
Yeah. So,
you want to watch it again?
well, here's what I'm going to say. There are some scenes there that intrigue me.
Yeah. So
when
I
they
watched
do
it.
the walk away, detonate the guy's apartment, I respect the hell out of that.
That was my
You're
teetering
holding
moment into let's go. Let's do this. I'm so ready. Lots of things in this trailer that a lot of people didn't like because we have a huge problem in the Star Wars fandom. We have a contingent of the fandom that, wants more Raylogy shit. We also have a contingency of the fandom that wants more nostalgic shit. This trailer is bold for Star Wars. It's very innovative, and it's also setting the tone that we're going in a new direction. Sorry, that looked bad. A new direction. Command hand. This is fine. And that's
that cool.
No, we're not going that way. We're going that way. But
Well,
that's and it's
Can we go that way or?
yeah. I feel like this is trying to bring in, people from who aren't normally Star Wars fans to give them something to consider that is, very smart, very I mean, the first season was so good. This is the well-deserved, exciting conclusion to this story. And they're serious about finishing it. This is basically supposed to time jump every 3 episodes a few years ahead. We're basically going all the way up to the beginning of Rogue One, I think is the plan. So this era, this timeline of Star Wars is done. Over. We're not coming back here. We got the end of the Galactic Civil War, the beginning of the Rebellion. We've got, I think, that story fleshed out. But why else am I excited for this second season? Because it looks like they are putting more Star Wars back into Andor, which is what people wanted to see. But with this trailer, they're expressing it in a way that's like, this is something new. This is taking what worked in Andor, and this is adding more Star Wars, which is exactly what I wanted to see. That's why, when we ran Andor and Ahsoka side by side, Ahsoka needs better storytelling, Andor needs better action. Well, at least one of those is about to come true, and so I am just hyped for April 22nd as far as, I shared the news on Scogley's stream, and he was all just ecstatic about it. It's like, you got me hyped for Star Wars. And I'm like, oh my god, I did. I didn't think that was possible. But that first season was just so solid that yeah, here we are coming in swinging into number 2. Like, my body is ready for season 2 of Andor. Jay Ghost said, I didn't know there was so much war in this franchise. I don't know about this.
Yeah, what can we have? Star Peace.
Star
what can we
Peace.
give
Star
Peace a
Poor.
chance?
Yeah.
Yeah, give Star Peace a chance, man.
Star Beatles.
Star sovereignty, where every individual is respected equally by all.
Star
A
diplomacy,
lot of
where
handshakes
negotiation
and
is paramount.
Canadian
That's
high five.
Star Trek?
Not your guy, buddy. Not your buddy, guy.
All right.
So yeah.
So there we are, my man.
I think that'll conclude this week's if you like what you see, turn off your no, don't turn us off. I am a bad self-promoter. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on the Twitters and the YouTubes and the Twitches. We've also got a Facebook's group. And share the good word. And if you think we're doing something wrong, please tell us why. We've been asking for feedback and people to challenge us, and
we just haven't been getting it.
No one cares.
And the internets just keep proving me right.
Jago says, Star chill, Star find ourselves, Star walk around. Wait, this is Star Trek. Yeah, exactly.
Get
But
off
I
your
did like
weed
Star
pen.
chill. Let's go ahead and chill in the star.
Ooh. Star Netflix and chill?
Star Netflix and chill. Star porno. Wait, what? Anyway. All right. So we don't have any famous last words, so I'm going to go ahead and bring back our background audio to close out the show with some archaic credits, because all right, goal for next week, new intro outros lined up and ready to go. That's the plan. Hoyo, what the hell are you watching? Are you still playing that Marvel Rivals thing? Is that still a thing the kids are doing?
Dude, my 4-year-old is about to break bronze 3 in competitive on Rivals. So shout out to China for, making a game that not only enticed me, an adult
I'm
man,
P. York. We'll see you
and
next
my
week.
4-year-old son, and made us both very good. Is that the outro?
This has been the Entertainment Information Intelligence Podcast from the Writer Brothers. The Writer Brothers, restoring respect into discourse.